Okay, so I'm going to do a little shorty video just to break down some basics. I will speak to the bum a little bit. So we'll start just on our hands and knees. Actually, we'll start on our knees, on high knees. So check it out. Alignment plays a lot in the activation ability of our bum, and also the foot plays a lot in the ability for our posterior chain to engage. So two little parts here. When we press the top of the foot down into the mat and gently drag it back, a couple of things happen. It encourages us to root our hips back to find a hollowing in the groin. It also subtly activates into the posterior chain. So just that pressing down and dragging back connects us into our bum, which is great. There's something I like to teach, and so this foot is cool, but this is a cool thing to kind of experience. That if you press your hips forward, which is a typical tucking of the tail, and you try to catch your bum here without squeezing it, I was squeezing my bum, it's quite loose. So it's not, the tucking of the tailbone doesn't really support a functional engagement. When we hollow the groins, so would be a little anterior tilt of the pelvis, the hips move back just a little bit and the groins hollow inwards. The bum is in a position here to engage in a functional way. So as the hips move back, we anterior tilt the pelvis and the groins hollow, the butt is in a place where it is engaged and active. And we want to start to really create that opportunity all the time so that the butt can participate in our movement more often than it tends to do. The reality is our bum is one of our biggest muscles, and so too often, and especially from our sitting culture, this tucking and also this tucking stuff here is creating no opportunity for the bum to engage. So rooting the hips back, hollows in the groins, connects us into the opportunity for our bum to engage. That in connection with the top of the foot, pressing down and dragging back is going to help us connect into our back line. Okay, so reach your arms forward and wide. We want to hold the spaciousness of the heart, so pressing the arms forward to broaden the back, to protract the shoulder blades. The hips root back, we connect into the butt. The belly stays long, this supports the lower lumbar moving in. The heart stays full, the chin stays lifted, open the throat. Sweep your hands back, catch both sides of the skull. The elbows hug narrow and energetically widen. Root the hips back and then rise through the center, lift the forearms up to the sky. Keep your hips tacked back, hold the hollows in the groin so we keep our butt engaged, supporting the back. Lift it up, lengthen the belly, rise up. The head presses into the hand, open the throat, sit back, and then rise up. One more, sit the hips back and wide, lift through the center, rise up high. And then sit back, rise high, arc up and over to the right side. So a crescent to the right. Here we want to hold the spaciousness and the length through the torso as we rise up and arc up and over, creating this big, beautiful stretch along the left side line. Release your right hand to the top of your right thigh. Use this point of connection to press down the thigh as you continue to rise up and arc into the left side. Press the head back into the hand, open the throat. The chin stays between the chest, head is in alignment with the heart. The hips gently pulse back, hold the hollows in the groins, soft belly, full heart. Take one more pulse. And then come back through center. Both hands catch behind the head. The elbows hug narrow, which holds the spaciousness, the shoulder blades to broaden. Root back, rise through the center, lift it up. And sit the hips back, curl the chin into the chest, round through the upper back. A little glide of your ribs side to side connects into the back. And then sit the hips back, soften the belly forward, rise high, lift your heart to the sky. Rise up through the center, arc up and over to the left. So you want to think about like you're this shooting rainbow and we're rising up as we arc up and over. Big extension along the whole right side body. Press the head into the hand, become expansive, open up. Okay, release your left hand to the top of your left thigh. Use this point of connection to press the thigh down as you continue to rise up high into the right side. So we can think about picking up the space underneath the right armpit, puffing out those right ribs. Keep the hips gently tacked back, soften the belly forward, rising up and arcing over. One more pulse. Okay, and then come back through center. Reach your arms forward and wide, root the hips back and place the hands down to the mat. Hands slide forward so that there's space, the wrists land ahead of the shoulders. Push the mat away, fill into the back of the heart, shoulder blades broaden. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, rise up, hands and feet. Feet walk wide as the hips or as wide as the mat, whatever feels right. Space is nice. Still, the wrists are ahead of the shoulders. Push the mat away, hold the fullness in the back of your rib cage. So the shoulder blades are broadening and widening. There's this whole circumferential opening of the whole rib cage. Nice big bend into the knees. Root down through the paws. And then begin to extend your legs back up wide to the sky. I should say the butt back wide and up to the sky. The paws press down and out to the side. This is your connection into the bum, into the posterior chain. Little pulses here. Bend, pause, press down and out to the side. Heart forward, press down the mat. Bend into the knees, send the butt up wide. Pause, press down and out to the side. The movement is small, but the energy is big. Okay, externally rotate your right hand, toes and knees twist to the left. Sit the hips towards the heel, big rise up into your left side, like you're turning yourself into a human rainbow. Bend and extend into the legs, lift the chin, open the throat. The hips root back, the belly stays soft, lift the chin. One more pulse, rise up into the left ribs, nice and high. And then come back through center. Little pedal of your heels. Keep pressing the mat away, hold the fullness in the back of your heart. Okay, externally rotate the left hand, toes and knees twist to the right. Sit the hips towards the heel, big rise up into your right side. Hips pulse back and wide, soften the belly, open to the right side. Big rising energy, lift into your right ribs. Little opening. Bending and extending, rising into this big arcing rainbow shape. One more pulse. Back through center. Lower the knees to come back down to all fours, hands and knees. Untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet down into the mat, gentle drag back. We're gonna shift the weight into the right side to take the left leg out to the side, open leg. So here, it might be nice to have a block. I like a block. And if you don't have a block, you can come up onto fingertips or keep both hands planted strong. So block here, keep pressing the mat away to hold the fullness in the back of the heart. Keep your left knee hugging forward, soften the belly. So here, what I want you to focus on is really expanding the rib cage, all sides, rooting the hips back, hold the hollows in the groins, and then we'll just pulse forward and back. Little forwards and backs. It's sort of like you start to move like a machine. As the knee hugs forward, the hips glide back. Knee hugs forward, hips glide back. And you can keep this knee nice and narrow. You see my knee's not so high up here. We're just keeping it chill. Knee hugs forward, hips root back. Keep pressing down the block and the mat. Hold the fullness in your heart, all sides of the rib cage expanding. Okay, next time the knee hugs forward, hold it here and then lower it back down. Switch the block over to the other side. We'll go right over to the other side. So shifting the weight into the left, right leg, open leg to the side. Maybe you have a block, maybe you have two hands planted strong or fingertips. Whatever you need here. Keep your right knee hugging forward and narrow. Strong push of the mat away, hold the fullness in the back of the heart. The chin is lifted, the throat is open, begin to pulse forward and back. So again, it's like that knee hugs forward and the hips root back. Knee hugs forward, hips root back. Hold the fullness in the heart, softness in the belly. Less is more. Making the movements isometrically engaged. So put intention into that, like fire up, fire up. Okay. Hug the knee in, hold. And then lower the knee back down to the ground. Two hands to the mat, take some barrel rolls, big circular motions of the rib cage. And switch your roll other direction. Okay, widen the knees, sit back onto your heels, wide knees, child's pose, soften here. If you need support, you can take your forearms forward. You can also be more forward off of if it's too tight for the hips. Otherwise, just melting the heart and just chilling. We'll explore more with the bum and with the posterior chain in the next little video. Yeah.